So you are coming up on or have already reached the 10-year mark in your profession. What are some things that you feel like have changed about the profession since you started? And you've done, being at Fisher, being at a big place that serves the mass affluent, you got a lot of exposure to, what a lot of people benchmark themselves to at times. And now you're really well connected among the financial professionals in our industry. So I guess what do you think has changed in the past decade or so?
Yeah, a couple things have changed in the last decade. Number one, access and resources to the industry are, a dime a dozen, right? I remember when I was striking out to go independent on my own, there was one person that I looked at like, okay, this could be done. And her name was Sophia Bora. I think she was one of the original founding XYPN network members. And she listed out how she started her business for under $10,000. And at the time I'm 24 and there was literally no other resource to start the business. There was no other resources or people that I knew that I can talk to that were going independent. The track was be an associate at a big firm and stay there as long as you could until you went up, or go to a wirehouse, grow your business, sell that business, or transfer it to another wirehouse, right? It was pretty mundane. It wasn't fun. So I think that just resources and information about financial services, crazy, right? There's a way for everybody to figure out what they want to do and what lane they want to exist in within the industry due to the amount of resources out there. Number two, I say there is a concerted effort to make our industry more diverse and more inclusive versus 10 years ago. I didn't think that was the case. I didn't feel heard. I didn't feel seen. I didn't feel known within the space. Right. And I would even say as early as when I met you, and that wasn't too long after I left Fisher Investments. Right. It was still sort of that, I am the one in the room type of feeling. So I think that there's more of an effort to be more diverse and more inclusive in the space. And number three, I think that the industry is going toward a place of, we call it personal finance, but I don't know if it's really ever been that personal. It's really always been kind of data driven. And I think that we're going, I think Brian Portnoy calls it the behavioral advisor. We're going to this place where holistic planning is truly holistic. People care about those qualitative questions. And they're equally as important as the quantitative questions, right? So we're really shifting to a place of personal financial advice versus just number crunching and being those mad scientists in the room that are trying to make sure that we, can compete with the S&P 500 or whatever benchmark that you throw out there, right? So I think that those three things are things that I've seen over the last decade that are changing. And if I probably add a fourth one here, industry technology, right? There's a ton of different platforms, networks, resources that allow advisors to do what they need to do in the best and most efficient way possible. And I think that we had a few players back 10 years ago, right? You can refer to Kitts' web of wealth tech. I don't know the official name. But every year there's more players in the space that are allowing advisors to do their best work. So, those four things really stand out to me.
I completely agree with all those things that you're bringing up. And one thing that is nice for us is, sure, it makes our job either easier or more fulfilling, but this also leads to a better experience for our clients. And so I think that behavioral advisor that you mentioned, there wouldn't have been time to service clients in that manner in the past just because technology wasn't quite as strong. And like you said, you had to be part of one of the big wirehouses, whereas now you can get it done on your own.